can fly.
Alright, you guys, I'm going to come to you guys out of the training room at Anytime Fitness in Longview. I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys and let you in on a little bit of like me. Like, this is me. As a lot of you know, like, I compete in men's physique, and I've competed the past 4 years. The first 2 years I competed in NGA, which is National Gym Association. They're all natural shows, and basically, you know, I placed top 5 in all those shows. They were fairly small shows, between 10 to 15 people per show for men's physique, which is very small. So I placed top 5 in four of those shows. Last year in 2015, I stepped over to NPC, competed in 2 shows, Better Bodies up in Dallas, and I got, like 15 out of number 15 out of like 16, 17 guys. I looked great. I looked the part. It was a real culture shock to me because I had a coach for the first time, and it was just, I looked the part, but everybody was bigger. 2 weeks later, after that show, I competed at Optimum Classic in Shreveport, Louisiana. I placed second in novice and third in open, and I got my national qualification there, but I still knew that I wasn't big enough to go to nationals and try to become a pro. So I took a little bit of time off, and then I competed this year in 2016 at the Europa Games in Dallas in June. Did not get the placing that I was looking for, but I went and I did all I could do. You know, I had goals going into Europa that obviously I wanted to win. Like, I'm a competitor, I wanted to win. I went in and I actually placed 9th out of 10 guys. And in this sport, like, all you can do is be better than you were the last time that you stepped on stage. And as long as you feel good, that's all that matters. So for me, you know, my goals for Europa were obviously to win. But if that didn't happen, I wanted to go in with a bigger chest. I wanted to go in with a wider back. I wanted to be 10 pounds heavier than last year. And I wanted to wear my own board shorts on stage for Recreate Royalty, my custom board shorts, which I did all of those. I did every one of them, and it just, I did all of it. So for me, that was a win for me. Now, we'll talk about Recreate Royalty. For the past 3-4 years, actually since I was doing internet marketing with a buddy of mine, we marketed pharmaceutical companies, and that was fresh out of college for me. Like, I don't have a degree. I went to school for business and marketing. Ended up getting a job doing internet stuff with my buddy, and worked there for about 5 years. And towards the end of that, like, I started following a lot of stuff Rob Dyrdek was doing with DC and all of his brands and everything. And I've always wanted, like, I've always been the type of guy that, like, I don't want to wear somebody else's brand. Sorry, like I said earlier, I'm a little sick, like coughing, stuffy nose, and it's really warm in here. But I wanted to wear something that was my own. I wanted to call my own brand. You know, I wanted to be like, hey, I want people in the streets to be like, hey, what is that? That's cool, like, that's dope. And I came up with the concept of a clothing line called I Rockit, and it was spelled I-R-O-K-I-T, and I got about 700 shirts printed up from a company for one of my buddy's album release parties. He's a rapper locally out of Longview, and I got 700 shirts printed up, and I sold about 600 of those 700, and it was real humbling to me, you know. And obviously it was because of the cause for it, and it was humbling for me, you know, to see, hey, this could actually work, you know, because I designed the shirts, and I've always been like real detail oriented, and I don't put out content. I try not to. I mean, even on social media today, like, I try not to put out anything that, like, isn't good enough for me, because if it's not good enough for me, then like why would somebody else want to look at that? Like that's just how I feel, and as long as I'm happy with it, this may sound bad, like it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it, because that's my vision. And you know, then I was working at Texas Eastman here in Longview, and about 3 years ago, and about 3.5 years ago, and I was working for a company called Guardian Compliance, which we did all the testing on all the pipes out there. And I always had jobs that like I enjoyed, but I mean, working there, and then I went from there to Genghis Grill, and I was a bartender, and that's where I actually, like, my first ever restaurant I worked at. And it was at Eastman. I was walking around the plant, and we had this little pocket notebook, and I just came up with the idea. I was like, man, like, I want a clothing line, like, I want that. And it was always in my heart to have something like that. And ended up, I started writing on my little notepad like some names, like I started jotting some names down, like for some brand names. And I called a buddy of mine that worked at our haunted house with us, and he didn't have a job at the time, and he was living with his mom trying to get his daughter back. And I won't go into a lot of detail about that, but I asked him, you know, hey, he wanted to start a mask and like a Halloween mask and a production company for that. I've always wanted something like that too, and maybe later on in the future I'll have something like that. But for me, I wanted something that I could call mine, you know, and not just be the name of the brand or the face of the brand, because I don't really want that. I want it to be for a bigger cause. And so I asked him to design a few shirts. I showed him like a design software, like on the internet, like you just go online and like design some shirts up. And within a week he had like 10 shirts back to me and was like, hey man, like this is this. And so we created an image, and we came up with the name Recreate Royalty, and it was actually Recreate Royalty Designs at first, and then it was actually Recreate Royalty, then it went to Recreate Royalty Designs, Recreate Royalty Clothing, and now it's Recreate Royalty Apparel, because I want to come out with a whole vast selection of things. So that was then. I got a couple shirts made up to go to Dallas to go to a concert, and me and another buddy of mine went to Dallas and wore the shirts with the old logo and the old brand on there, and it was cool. I mean, the response we got from it was pretty amazing. Then after that, I kind of took some time off, and I started focusing on competing, and I started focusing on other things in life, like, because life's always going to throw you something to kind of throw you off track, and that's happened to me like several times. And I feel like I'm more on track now than I was 3-4 years ago. And now, we'll fast forward quite a bit. I actually, 2 years ago, I was getting shirts like heat pressed, like this shirt for Nutrition Station is heat pressed. And actually, shout out to John Jett at Nutrition Station here in Longview, one of my sponsors. He got this heat pressed, but that's what I was doing with my hoodies, and I was selling them. You know, I was flipping hoodies and I was selling them. And there was one point that I walked into a pool hall here in Longview about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was actually 2 years ago, and I had the old logo, which was a circle with a crown and then RR, and it was just very basic, and I felt like it wasn't a brand logo. So with that being said, you know, I was still working other jobs here and there. And I've actually, you know, I worked at a couple of gyms, and then and now I'm at Bootlegger, and it's actually a bar and a grill. I'm a server and a bartender there, part-time, and putting all my focus now towards Recreate Royalty. But I remember walking into this bar about 2 years ago, and it was like a pool hall, and I had on a baseball tee that said Recreate Royalty, had our logo and everything on there that I designed. And then I was wearing a hoodie over it that said Recreate Royalty on the back of it. But I walked into this place, and there was like 8 people, and that's not many, but that was 7 people in my hometown that was wearing my brand, something that I created. And to me, that was very humbling, and it kind of was a culture shock, but it was also like, wow, like people actually believe in this, you know? And at the time, like I had no vision. I didn't know where I was going with Recreate Royalty. I just knew that the name was cool. The concept of the name was cool. had no slogan. I didn't have anything like that. And so we'll go back to last year in October. There's actually a girl that works at our haunted house, Shrimp, and I went to her and I was like, hey, you're an artist, like you can draw, like I need a logo drawn up. And so I gave her my vision for the new Recreate Royalty logo, and I wanted a diamond involved, although there is a clothing line called Diamond Supply, and I wanted a diamond involved. And so since then, we have come up with this logo right here. And she actually drew it for me, and I loved it. And the response that I got from this logo is beyond my imagination. And I just, you know, so I've been thinking, you know, like, what can I do? And I started working on Recreate Royalty last year around December. And I was working on the new stuff. I actually got with a company out of China, and I did my board shorts for this year. I did some custom joggers out of China for this year, and things were coming together. And you know, but then again, the distraction came back in, and I was about to compete at Europa. This prep took a lot out of me earlier this year, and it was crazy. But you know, when I wore Recreate Royalty to Europa this year, you know, I had friends that were like, man, like those shorts are awesome, man. Like, when you coming out with those? And I was like, man, and you know, now fast forward to November of 2016, those shorts could very well come out in October. I mean, not October. Oh, sorry, my phone was ringing. Threw me off. My shorts could actually, the shorts for Recreate Royalty for board shorts could actually come out for summertime. And you know, I've been praying for this for a long time, and I have a vision for it now. Basically what Recreate Royalty stands for is, why follow in the footsteps of somebody else when you have your own dreams and you have your own goals, and you can create your own path and you can recreate your own royalty. And to me, that's very big, because you know, I've had distractions thrown at me. I've had, you know, relationships fail with friends and girlfriends, and I don't, you know, I wish everybody in my past the best, and I don't want any hard feelings towards anybody. But, you know, now I feel like, you know, within the past month, you know, I feel like my life is like drastically changing, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be in life. But I guarantee you, like, if I keep pushing, I'm going to get there, and you can do the same thing. If you have a goal and you have a dream, chase it with all your heart. Don't ever give up on it. And, I mean, I don't care what anybody says to you. I don't care what anybody does to you. I don't care. It doesn't matter, because obviously if people are gonna talk down about you, then you're doing something positive, or there's a reason for them to be talking about you. And you know, I have people say negative stuff about me, and I got people say positive. And if the positive outweighs the negative, then you're doing something right, you guys. And by all means, like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be with Recreate Royalty, but I guarantee you, come December of this year, when we do our photo shoot and we have our launch, I'm super stoked about it. And I have so much going on. I mean, this past week, I mean, I've ordered almost like, I can't throw out numbers, but I've ordered scoop tees, I've ordered girls t-shirts, I've ordered Razorbacks, I've ordered crop tops for girls, I've ordered t-shirts for guys, I've ordered leggings for girls that are, oh my gosh, like super dope. I cannot wait for our photo shoot for those. The joggers that I ordered for guys, and hopefully the joggers and the leggings come in. Like, I just ordered those yesterday, and hopefully they'll be in time for the photo shoot. But if not, you know, they'll be on the next launch, and the next launch will be pretty soon. As you know, in East Texas, it's colder like January through March. So we're gonna come out with zip-up hoodies, pullover hoodies. Like, I mean, I want this to be a legit clothing line, and I want it to be something that people can like admire and want to wear, because they want to live that lifestyle, that they can chase their own dreams and chase their own goals and not worry about what anybody else thinks about them, because you can create your own success. You don't have to do it like somebody else did it. You can take from what somebody else has done and put your own knowledge and own vision towards it, and you can be super successful. I mean, there are clothing lines out there that I follow right now. There are people out there that I follow right now that I look up to that are younger than me. And I just want you guys to know, like, this is a long video, and I was actually going to tag this video in with another video, but I think I'm going to post this one by itself because this is about me, and this is who I am, and I wanted to let you guys in on that. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I know this is actually, you know, I'm going on 15, 16 minutes now. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I mean, if you watch my YouTube channels, if I'm an inspiration to you, I feel like personally I'm nobody, you guys. Like, I work out, I try to shoot positive message out there, and if I can inspire one person, then I've done my job. And I'm going to keep following like what the Lord's putting into my life, and I'm going to keep chasing my goals and my dreams, and I'm not going to stop until, and nobody's going to stop me until I reach what I want to get to and what the Lord has planned in my life. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching this. If you got something out of this or you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please like my, you know, go to my Instagram, like some posts. I mean, I have everything in the description box below. But anyways, you guys, I love you guys. I thank y'all. Thank you for taking this time out of your day to watch this video or night. And stay tuned. We have more to come. Thank you guys. Peace. I can fly.